Welcome, race fans. Tonight, Top Fuel Racing Indy Series takes two Auto Club, one of the tracks that people have been waited a long time to get. And when they finally got it, I think they found out it wasn't maybe as fun to race as they thought it was going to be. Sister track to Michigan, but altogether different characteristics, a little bit flatter turns, uh, but same shape. That's about the only thing that's really got going for it's about the same shape, D-shaped oval. So, well, we got a few announcements here to make tonight, so let's get on with them. I want to give a shout out to Austin Hawkins' family. They'll be tuning in tonight to watch Austin run, and he is graduating from high school in 7 days. So, congratulations goes out to Austin for graduating from high school here in 7 days, and a big shout out to his family. Uh, in 3 weeks, they will be going to Indy here, and they will be running the Indy 300, excuse me. And right now they only have 9 registered drivers. It costs $15 to get into the race, but there are going to be some payouts throughout the whole race. So you might want to think about getting into that $15 entry fee to get in. Just get a hold of Scott Brinson on iRacing, and he'll take care of that. $10 to the winner tonight. So there will be some money handed out tonight. I think there's some other ones too. I think it's 5 to second, and 5 to third, I believe, but don't quote me on that. Too many other announcements to make. Just wanted to let everybody know that on lap one, even though they get the green flag, they're not going to go. That's going to be a moment of silence for a fallen brother that used to be in the league here, Ryan Sadusky, a couple of years ago that passed away. So they're going to do one lap in silence. So just kind of bow your heads or whatever you may want to do there, and give a moment of silence there to Ryan Sadusky, fallen brother here in iRacing. All right, we're about 12 minutes away from qualifying, folks. So stay with us. Don't go anywhere, and enjoy the practice here a little bit. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, folks, and please give us a thumbs up on the video. Hey, Abbas, Michael, those of you in chat there. All right, coming down to 5 minutes left in practice here, folks. We'll be moving on to qualifying here right directly. And they do have a 10-minute qualifying session to turn in the fastest time out there. Absent from qualifying. Okay. Well, real quick here, folks, let's run down through the points coming into tonight. Chase Hudson has a 56-point lead over Adam Blocker. Adam picked up 3 positions last week after winning last week's race. Scott Brinson still hanging on in third, only 1 point behind Adam. And actually the top second, third, and fourth are only 1 point apart. Michael Jeans in fourth place, lost a couple of positions last week. Paul Crumry in fifth place. He is 65 points behind the leader. Mark Walker in sixth. He is 86 points behind the leader. Kevin O'Brien in seventh. He is 104 behind the leader. Eric Steinmetz in eighth is 107 points behind the leader. Wally Turheimer in ninth. He is 108 points back. And rounding out the top 10, Mark McFadden, 119 points behind the leader, Chase Hudson. So pretty tight battle all the way back through the field, except for between first and second. Now, Chase Hudson has won 4 races so far out of the 5 that we've ran here. So he's won 4, and Adam Blocker won the one last week. So, like I said, pretty tight battle there, except for between first and second, 56 points. That's a big difference. Those 4 wins that Chase Hudson's got really rocketed him up in the points. All right, 2 minutes left, folks. Well, qualifying begins. All right, folks, we're going to step away and play our national anthem. We'll be right back after that. Qualifying will be underway by then. So you got time to step away, get something to drink. But first, let's pay tribute to the United States of America.
we take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, we're back and qualifying is underway, and right now Adam Blocker does take over the pole for the time being. Hey Donald, how you doing, buddy? And folks, remember, we will be giving the first lap of the race will be in honor of Ryan Sadusky, Donald Sadusky's son that passed away a couple of years ago. And it will be a moment of silence for the whole lap. Will be under silent, and then they will give, I guess, I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but they will start green on lap 2. That's why if you notice, they're that changed the race from 125 laps to 126 laps, so we actually have a 125 lap race because the first lap will be under pace lap. There's just a little over 5 minutes left in qualifying, folks. You still got time to go get your favorite beverage and or a snack and be ready here for 125 laps tonight at Auto Club in the Top Fuel IndyCar Series. Don't forget, 3 weeks from tonight, folks, they'll be running their Indy 300, and that's a $15 entry fee in there. Right now, they've only got 9 registered drivers, so if you think you might want to race in here, shoot Scott Brinson at PM on iRacing. I'm sure he'll hook you up and have $15 ready to pay an entry fee, and lots of money will be given out that night, folks. So the Indy 300 in 3 weeks from tonight. I have a feeling, folks, we're going to see a pretty good race here tonight. It's going to be pretty racy. It looks like, by the looks of it, the guys are having, they are able to pass, so that could be interesting in itself. And but yet, it's there is a lot of aero push on the car, so they're going to have to be very gentle with that. Again, I wanted to give a shout out to Austin Hawkins' family tuning in here tonight. Watch Austin run. He will be graduating from school here in 7 days. So you see Austin, make sure you give him a congrats there for completing his education, I guess is what you might want to say. So congrats goes to Austin. 7 days, he'll be a graduate. And looks like that's going to pretty much wrap up qualifying here, folks. They wrapping up the open qualifying session that they had. About 40 seconds left here. Hey, Mrs. Brinson, how you doing? All right, that does it for qualification there, folks. Qualifying is over. We're waiting for everybody to get on the grid here. We'll get them on a rundown here to see where everybody is officially starting. All right, starting on the pole, Adam Blocker with a 31.825. Congratulations to him for grabbing the pole. Chase Hudson will start on the outside of the front row in second. Scott Brinson starting third. Matt Burkhart fourth. Michael Jean starting fifth. He's got to work hard to stay up there with them guys in the points. Wally Turheimer starting in sixth place. Colin Scott seventh. Tony Pizarro racing tonight, not helping me in the booth. He will be starting in the eighth position. Garrett Maines in ninth. Jeffrey Ohms in 10th place. Eric Steinmetz 11th. Leroy Giroux. Yeah, that's it. Giroux. There we go. Leroy Giroux starting 12th. I had to think about that one because I just talked to him. Kevin O'Brien in 13th. Mark Walker 14th. Stone Cold Hawkins, there's the graduate boy right there. Austin Hawkins starting back in 15th. Paul Krumrye 16th. Bobby O'Neill in 17th. Mark McFadden 18th. Kerry Cleaver 19th. And Chris Voiles 20th. And Chris Walker starting 21st position. Dead last on the field. Not taking the qualifying time. All right, let's get down here. Everybody's chomping at the bit, ready to go here, folks. I know you guys are probably too. You want to see some IndyCar racing? Well, we're about to get it underway here in just a minute. And don't forget, folks, there will be a lap of silence in memory of Ryan Sadusky. So when the pace car ducks off, they will not be going green. They will stay all lined up in formation, and one lap of silence around Auto Club in memory of Ryan Sadusky. All right, folks, as they come around here in the pace car, dives to pit road, let's give them a moment of silence. All right, folks. Pace will start to be picking up, but the moment of silence is over for our fallen brother Ryan Sadusky as Adam Blocker gets a good start here. We are under green, and they will be doing officially 125 laps. So Matt Burkhart back here. Wally Turheimer trying to make a run on him, and Wally may get passed up by Tony Pizarro on the high side. And we have a caution already. Kerry Cleaver going around. Wow. First lap. Let's see what happened here to Kerry. This is right after the start here. Oh, looks like he tried to dodge the driver there, and he's going to get hit by a couple of other cars. So I think he'll be all right, though. Now, they do have one quick fix here, so he'll be able to get that car fixed up if it's got a lot of damage on it. Not a good sign, Josh, when they got a caution on the first lap.
No, not a good sign at all. But you know they get it straightened out here over time. Yeah, I missed the race tonight. Trying to make it back, but you know it didn't happen. So I'll just jump up here with you and call a race with you. How about that?
There you go. I'm not sure how Chase Hudson got by Adam Blocker there, but okay. Somehow, I guess he got by him before the caution flew. How that was possible. When Adam Blocker was the pole sitter and he got a big jump on the... I don't know. That is really weird. I don't think Chase Hudson's the leader. Adam Blocker's the leader. Yeah, I don't... Oh well. IRTVO could be on the fritz, I don't know. Sometimes it acts a little funky. This is showing Chase Hudson in the lead when Adam Blocker was the leader. Oh. Anyhow, Scott Brinson third, Matt Burkhart fourth, Wally Turheimer fifth, Tony Pizarro sixth, Michael Jean seventh, Jeffrey Ooms in eighth place, Garrett Maines ninth, and Colin Scott. That'll be your top 10. 21 drivers, they're all still in it. But Chris Walker is on pit road.
I just went back and looked at seeing how Chase Hudson got around Adam Blocker there, and it looks like he did make the pass before the yellow. So yeah, Chase Hudson would be in the lead.
Oh, Adam had like about a 6-car lead. I don't know how the heck he... But, well, hey, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
As everybody says, it is what it is.
That's the iRacing format for you, I guess.
Yeah, Scott does that from time to time. He'll blink for a little bit, and then he'll be good for a while, you know. He's got that Florida internet, folks. Yeah, that's down there where it's just, you know, like all sand and swamp water. So, you know. He'll be all right. He'll blink a couple times like that, and then he won't blink for quite a while, you know. So he'll be all right. All right. Well, we're just about ready to get him going here again. Pace car's in. Goes Chase Hudson, already on that loud pedal.
Ready, green, 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 green.
There's the green. Scott Brinson trying to make something happen here on Adam Blocker. Takes a look to the inside. Adam closes that door up. Says, that's my spot. Thank you very much. We got a three-way battle there going on. Oh, Adam goes to the high side looking for a little help off of Scott Brinson. Scott's loving that because he's just drawing right up behind Chase Hudson now. But he's
And that apron.
not quite been able to get that.
Now that apron down there on that front stretch, man, if you can control it and get down there and get that extra few seconds, man, that sure does help. But if you can't control it coming back up on there, it will definitely shoot your car up into the wall.
Now there's one little place there where it's safe to come up on, and if you don't hit that place just perfect. All right, Adam Blocker goes to the inside. He tried it on the outside, couldn't make it happen. Now he goes to the inside. Chase Hudson trying to get that run on the outside, though he does get a pretty good run. It's back ahead of Adam Blocker. Ooh, Adam way up the hill. Go back in the field here a little ways. Eric Steinmetz. Doing a pretty good run. Then a pretty heavy pack right here. He's got Michael Jeans coming up on him. Boy, there's a lot of cars right there about mid-packs. Did Josh? Oh, a couple of them get out of shape there. Aye. Matt Burkhart, I think did tap the wall there just. It was really close anyhow. If he didn't hit it, he was pretty close to hitting it. But he seems to be okay here. He's got it gathered back up. Paul Crumry in the Farmall car. He got a pretty good run there. Michael Jeans goes back. Larry Giroux, or Leroy Giroux. That sounds like a race car driver, don't it? Leroy Giroux.
Yes, it does.
12th place, right where he started.
Chris Walker.
Huh?
Chris Walker started 21st. He's now up to 15th.
Yeah. Stone Cold Hawkins, Austin Hawkins, the graduation boy here, graduating from high school in 7 days, Josh.
Wow.
Yeah. Mom and Dad tuning in, and brothers and sisters, everybody tuning in tonight to watch Austin. Matt Burkhart is not having a good run here. He is down on the bottom there, and he's just not feeling it right now. The car is just like all over the place. He's just not got a grip on it. He has lost a bunch of positions since the beginning of the race. Started 4th, and he's clear back to 15th. Not feeling the car here tonight.
He's definitely not feeling it, man. I don't know if it's slick out there or not. I didn't have time to pull any laps around it, but the aero push, I'm sure, is horrible in these cars because it always is.
Oh yeah. And Adam Blocker takes the lead back. Kidding me. There we go. And now Chase Hudson takes it back. Adam did lead that last lap. These two are switching laps like I changed my socks. They get that draft, and boy, I'll tell you, the suck up on these cars is atrocious.
Yeah, they are. And Scott Brinson's just sitting there, patiently in 3rd place, waiting for one of these guys to make a mistake, and so he can take over the position. But the way they're going back and forth up here, I don't see the mistakes being made by these guys.
Yeah, Scott's got a pretty good view of all this. They just don't know which one to draft off of, whether he wants to draft off of Adam Blocker or Chase Hudson. And Tony Pizarro goes into 4th place. What a ways behind these guys. Bringing the Tide Ride into 4th.
Now all Tony's got to do is just catch the draft off of them cars in front of him, and it'll pull him right up to him. But he's got company behind him with old Wally Terheimer's going to the inside.
Yes, he is. Wally, boy, he is really good in these cars. So Tony could be in for an experience there, racing around old Wally.
Yeah, I know. I learned a lot from these guys by watching them and driving with them. They sure do know how to drive these DW12s. I mean, it's these things are fast, and they're amazing machines too.
We got one out of the race already, Kevin O'Brien. Oh, and he was up there in points too. Yeah, he was 7th in points, picked up a position last week, and boy, he's gonna wind up losing that what he gained. You know, that's a bummer.
Oh, that is a bummer. And Mr. Chris Walker had a moment there. He hit the wall coming around turn 4 and dove it down into the grass. And he's on pit road as we speak.
Boy, yep, that's pretty early. And here comes the leaders by. So he'll go a lap down. And Brinson looking to take the lead over. He wants to get up here and lead a lap and get that bonus point. And Chase Hudson taking a look on the inside of Adam Blocker. He does not want Scott to lead this lap and get that bonus point.
Yeah, but it looks like Mr. Brinson's going to do it.
Oh, yeah, he's got it. Scott will get a bonus point. There he goes. Adam says, all right, you got your bonus point. Now I'm going to retake the lead from you. Thank you very much.
That's about the way it looked like there. You know, Scott, he stayed high, and Adam went low, so...
Let's see, another battle here. Michael Jeans and Jeffrey Ohms. He said to either call him Ooms or Ohms. Either way, he said, don't matter. He gets called both. Ooms or Ohms. Yeah, him and Michael Jeans on a pretty good battle here. They're switching it up about like the leaders are. Bobby O'Neill, 13th position, coming from 17th. Leroy Giroux in 14th. Mark Walker, 15th. Running the Oculus Rift. I think one of the few drivers, one of the only one I think in this race here that's running the Oculus Rift. That's got to feel pretty good on board with him, but you know, he's making this pass here. Driving in that Oculus Rift kind of really sets a tone of like the reality of what it feels like to be an Indy car. He took it clear down below that white line. Boy.
I looked at the prices on those Oculus Rifts, man. I'd love to have them, but they're not for the faint at heart. You know, they're relatively expensive, but if you can afford it, man, I would advise anybody to get an Oculus Rift because it makes the racing more like racing.
Oh yeah. Scott Brinson well off the pace back now, 1.4 seconds back, and he's about to lose a draft there off of Chase Hudson. And Adam Blocker is continuing to pull away just a little bit at a time, not much. I think Chase is just kind of sitting there waiting right now.
Tony Pizarro's not too far behind Scott Brinson there. He's down to about a half a second, and he's gaining time as we speak. So, and Scott's blinking a little bit. I'm not sure if he's having some issues or not.
He does that every now and then. He'll be all right for a while. He did it at the beginning of the race, and now they're on lap 24. So, he went 23 laps without blinking. That's pretty good. Ollie Turheimer back to 5th. And Paul Crumry, 6th place. I think we do have a couple of lap cars behind him. Kevin O'Brien back out there on the track. He has showed 7 laps down right now. Must have had some connectivity problem or something that he had to reset. He is back in the race. Colin Scott having a good run here today. 7th place. He had a good qualifying spot, 7th. And he's hanging right with the boys up there in the front.
He doesn't have too many cars around him. He's got 2 behind him, and he's got 1 or 2 in front of him, close by. But I mean, they're really not there. But he can get the draft off the cars in front of him. He's still close enough to get that.
Well, that's helping Paul Crumry out because he's able to get a little draft off of Kevin O'Brien there and hang with the Wally Turheimer. Michael Jeans pulls out on Colin Scott and does take over that position, and he will go back into 7th. So we are seeing some passing here. They're far and few between. As the tires start getting older and older, the guys it's gonna be harder to pass, So, but they're gonna have to think about if they're gonna get passing done, they need to do it quickly here. Garrett Main's now challenging Colin Scott, and it looks like he's gonna get that position. And Eric Steinmetz comes up on him. He wants that position too. And Jeffrey Ohms.
Seeing the guys back here trying to get the slingshot effect going on to get that pass.
Oh yeah, yep. They know how to do it. Jeffrey Ohms just come right up on the back of Colin Scott there. I mean, look at that. Whoa, and Ohms into the wall. That's going to hurt. Got that arrow push off of the car ahead of him, and that's what will happen right there. When you get a little too close to somebody up ahead of you, and you get that arrow push, looks like he spins it.
Caution somewhere, caution.
And there's a caution. Oh, man. Wow. Trying to get it going here to stay on the lead lap. The leader's coming around here pretty quick. He will stay on the lead lap, but he's going to be at the tail end of the lead lap and probably have some damage. I think that's what he was trying to assess right there. How much damage he had, and felt like it was probably going to be a little bit too on the edge for him, so that's why he spun out. I think he was just trying to figure out how much it was,
Yeah, it looked like he had some steering issues because when he was trying to get it going, it was jerking it to get it to turn. So,
and he's coming down pit road early. I mean, that the right side of that car is pretty well damaged up, so he'll have to use a reset to get that thing fixed up and get it back out there. But entering a closed pit, that's going to give him a penalty. He'll have to serve the penalty. But here comes the leaders all down pit road now. Everybody's ready for new tires.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I know I would be.
All right, they're away. Pretty much come out like they went in. Adam Blocker, Chase Hudson, Scott Brinson, Tony Pizarro, and Wally Turheimer. That's your top 5. Well, Kerry Cleaver stayed out. He's going to try to get his lap back, but he's going to probably, I think he's probably going to need to come to pit road. Although he was the first caution of the race, getting tangled up with somebody there, and I think it was Chris Walker he got tangled up with. If I'm not correct, don't remember really 100%. I think it was Chris Walker and him got together. Well, let's see. They didn't get the one to go, so let's see if we can get somebody up here. I promised to kind of talk to new guy here. Let's see if we can get a word in with Jeff Ooms. You got a copy, Jeff?
Yeah, sure do.
Well, I said I'd try to drag you up to the booth with your buddy here. Well, what happened out there, Jeff? It looks like you got a little bit up into the wall there and got some damage. Was the car just not, you couldn't control it, or what happened?
Yeah, just learning how the dynamics work with this car. Don't really run it that much. Got into some dirty air there and just straight, so luckily got a second car here, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, you're just learning the car? Wow, I'll tell you what, you're doing pretty good for just learning it. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Well, what do you think of racing out here with some of these guys? They're pretty tough, ain't they?
Yeah, it's pretty fun for sure. We'll see what we can do. Just kind of take my time and see what we can do.
All right, Jeff, well, we'll let you get back at it here. Good luck, brother.
Thanks. Have a good one.
I forget what room you're in. Regular room, I guess. All right. Back up front here, Adam Blocker and Chase Hudson. We'll start on pole. We got a couple of cars that are going to take wave bys here. Like Kerry Cleaver, Chris Walker, and Kevin O'Brien will take wave bys.
Yeah, Kerry Cleaver will get his lap back, so. Mark McFadden's coming to pit road.
Who is?
Mr. Mark McFadden.
Oh, okay. He's at the back of the field. He might as well freshen up them tires. And put him on a different fuel strategy, too. He tops off that fuel tank. I'll give him a couple of extra laps of fuel. Be enough for him to stay out there and lead a lap or two. If it stays green and all the leaders come to pit road, he can stay out there and lead a lap. Get a bonus.
Yeah, get that all valuable bonus point.
There you go. You got to try different strategies, and whatever it takes.
People win differently. It's not all about being on the same strategy as somebody else. Like I said, you gotta do something different.
Yep. Hey, Charles, how you doing? Good to see you out there, buddy. All right, well, get them going here, Josh.
Oh, I sure can. Pace car. Waiting on pace car here. Adam Blocker on the low side. Pace car is on the pit road. Adam Blocker's on the loud pedal. And we are back green flag racing here at Auto Club Speedway.
gets back up to speed. Michael Jeans taking a look there at Wally Turnheimer. Able to get by him. And Chase Hudson. Wow, look at this. 3 abreast up front. Scott Brinson, Chase Hudson, and Adam Blocker. And Scott's going to come out the victor on that one. And he leads that lap. And here comes Chase Hudson to the outside. Not able to do it. Dives it back down underneath and keeps that draft. Then back to the high side. Just getting a little bit of draft. Tony Pizarro goes into 3rd. Boy, I don't know. I'm thinking Adam Blocker must not got a good set of tires that time or something, Josh.
Might need to fire his pit crew.
I'm telling you, would they put on like some used tires or something? I don't know, man. That's kind of weird.
Put on some used tires and had too much air pressure in there.
Something, man. Brinson's still holding off Chase Hudson, trying to break that draft, unable to do it. He pulls out, goes to the high side.
Adam Blocker fell back to 3rd, but you know he's got Tony Pizarro, and we have a yellow.
Where that's at? Ooh, we got a few of them involved in that one. Let's go check this out. Chris Walker was involved in that. I'm not sure where it started, but let's see where he got involved, and then maybe we can go from there and figure out what happened. Oh, he got loose right there. He caught that white line, boy, and I'll tell you, that's all it takes is catching that white line. It looks like a lot of people tried to dodge that, but boy, oh, even some net coating there. Eric Steinmetz net coated into him. And even guys hitting the wall trying to avoid hitting him hit the wall, man. Like
Yeah.
Kevin O'Brien going to get serious damage on there. So, all right, well, these guys are going to have to limp at the pit road to try to get it fixed up. Meanwhile, Scott Brinson is the leader.
Now you can tell that one was some major net cut because he was he was nowhere near that car, and it just slammed him into the wall.
We got a few of them coming to pit road. Let's talk to. We talked to. I don't know if he's in here. Colin Scott. He's in here. We can get a word in with Colin. Colin Scott, you got a copy? Colin Scott.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, Colin, how's the car running out there tonight?
It's a little tight, you know, especially behind another car. It's kind of precarious. Bless you.
Yeah, sorry, I got the sneezes. I didn't want to have my mic open on that one. Man, I'd have blew everybody's eardrums apart. Well, I don't know what the fuel window is here, but how are the tires holding up on these long green flag runs?
The tires are fine, as far as I can see. It's just the arrow is really prevalent, you know, on the track today.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing. It looks like a lot of people, you really don't want to get too close to the guy ahead of you, and you get that arrow push off of him. Is that what we're seeing?
That and yeah, and so like going into the turns and stuff, you want to be like kind of like halfway behind him, not completely behind him. Because if you're completely behind him, you lose the air on your car. You're just going towards the wall.
Oh boy, we don't want to see that, man. I'll tell you. Well, you've lost a couple of positions since the beginning of the race. I'm sure you're not concerned about it. There's a lot of laps to go, so we'll wish you good luck, Colin. And man, just keep that car fixed up nice and clean so it goes through the air fast.
That's right. Thank you, Rudy.
All right, buddy. Man, sneezes. Whew.
Well, that's the allergies for you, Rudy.
Yeah, it is that season. And we got some rain coming in tonight and storms tomorrow, so that'll really stir it up.
Yeah, there's been some pretty bad flooding everywhere for everybody.
I've seen that.
It's these storms and stuff that's pushing through, for everybody in the central U.S. and going off back toward the east and, to where, toward you live and everybody, just please be safe, turn around, don't drown. That's what they always say. It's horrible.
Well, hopefully everybody's enjoying the show here tonight. We're still waiting on the pace car, the lights to go off on the pace car, and we'll get everybody lined up and get back under green here. But if it's your first time here on MaxSpeedTV, make sure you give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe there, folks. Tune in tomorrow night for the MaxSpeedTV Dirt Slinger series by Racers page and IWCR. So tune in for that tomorrow night, folks. We'll be live on iRacing and here on MaxSpeedTV. Be going live about 8 o'clock Eastern. So that'll be some fun. They are at Volusia with the 360 sprint cars. So that'll be some good racing. And don't forget, folks, to get signed up for 3 weeks from tonight is the Indy 300 here at Top Fuel. A $15 entry fee to get in, but they're giving away lots of money. But the Indy 300, it'll be at Indianapolis with the Indy cars. If you want to get signed up there, PM Scott Brinson. Give him a PM and sure he'll get you hooked up. All right, we're ready to go back green flag racing here, folks. Scott Brinson and Chase Hudson on point here. Pace car heads in. Scott gets a good jump on that start.
Ready, green, 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 green.
Adam Blocker trying to take over second from Chase Hudson. Drops it down there below the line. And that's where you got to be very careful re-entering the track up below that line. And it looks like he is going to take over second. Paul Crumry goes into fourth. And I don't think he's done yet, Josh.
I don't either. He's been making moves, man. He qualified 16th, and he is all the way up to 4th, man. That's a big mover right there.
And the same way with Garrett Maines. Garrett Maines started 9th, and he's up to 5th, so he's having a good run here tonight. I don't know if Mrs. Turheimer's in chat or not. Might be along later, but Wally is running in 6th place, right where he started. When these guys are getting awful dicey up here, up in the front. Walker trying to get that pass on Brinson. Brinson trying to hold him off. Doing all right so far. They're still side by side going into turn 1. Brinson, man, he is blinking something fierce there. I can't even stay on him. He's blinking so much. Chase Hudson 3rd. Chase has led 12 laps. Adam Blocker's led 21, and Scott Brinson's led 10. Those have been the only 3 that have led any laps out here tonight, Jeff or Josh. Sorry about that.
It's all right. I got called Jeff yesterday too, so it's all good. I'm used to it. But yeah, I mean, it may be a battle for the win, but right now they're battling for the most laps led because it's really close. You know, they just keep swapping back and forth on leading.
That's just an extra bonus point they get for leading the most laps.
And like I keep saying, them all valuable bonus points, man. They come in handy toward the end of the season, you know.
Oh, yeah. Back in the field, Mark McFadden comes into 13th after starting 18th. A good run. Him and Chris Foyles. Chris and the Butterfingers. There you go. Butterfingers candy bar. Those of you that might like Butterfingers, I'm not a big Butterfingers fan. Michael Jean's 15th. Michael better get busy because look at the points here again. I know he's up there pretty close, but he did lose 2 positions last week in the point. But that's really not that bad because him, Adam Blocker, and Scott Brinson are all within 1 point of each other. So still pretty close racing, but he's way back in 15th right now. That's going to be a big loser for Michael Jeans this week, unless he gets it up to the front. Kerry Cleaver. We seen Kerry in the very first accident, and I believe he had to use his reset. Just had enough damage on he had to use his reset. And here he is, back up to 16th. Great job. Last one on the lead lap, Bobby O'Neill. Another good racer right there, Bobby O'Neill, man. He's a really good racer. Brinson still holding on to the lead by 0.4 of a second over Adam Blocker.
I saw some smoke from somewhere, but I couldn't catch exactly who it was. They might have saved it and got back on track before I could get down there, but there was some smoke on the front stretch that last lap.
Yeah, I've been seeing a little bit now and then. I don't know if that's a glitch or if that maybe coming off of like Scott Brinson by Lincoln. You know how that'll do sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And you know, it looks like he's off the track and on the track, and it, you know, could be there. He just did it again, blinked again. He's having some pretty healthy blinking issues right now. Chase Hudson closing up on Adam Blocker. Three of them right there together, and they're about 0.8 of a second ahead of Paul Crumry now. There's the difference right there. Paul should be feeling the draft though. And he's only 0.8. If you get within that 1 second margin there between you and the guy ahead of you, you are starting to sniff that draft. So he's feeling a little bit of the draft right now.
Oh, and Tony Pizarro took a hefty spin down pit road. I'm going to go back and see what happened. He's coming around turn 4, and it looks like he just lost it. It didn't look like he clipped the wall or anything, but boy, he hit that inside pit wall hard.
And he might be joining us in the booth here before he even knows it. Looks like he is, yeah, he comes to a stop. Going to use his reset here, looks like.
Yes, he did hit the wall. He barely clipped it, but do it going that fast, you know. It don't take much.
Or maybe he didn't have a reset. I don't know. Back up front, Brinson, Adam Blocker, Chase Hudson, and soon to be Paul Crumry. Well, we're getting close to the halfway mark here. About 10 laps away from the halfway mark. Now Chase has kind of pulled back away from Paul Crumry. It's actually about 0.9 of a second ahead of Crumry. So that draft that he's getting off of Adam Blocker right now is really helping him. And Tony P, he's in the booth. What happened out there, Tony?
I got a new wheel like maybe just over an hour ago. I've just been trying to figure it out. And I hit the wall. I almost hit the wall about 20 other times during the race, and finally it actually did. And I spun into the pit road where no yellow could come out, so it's all right.
Well, heck, I thought you were doing pretty good out there.
Yeah, I wasn't. It's been so long. I wasn't used to the dead air the way it was. I had to relearn pretty much everything. So it was just a learning process out there for me. I was just hoping I could get past the learning process and then go out there and compete for the win, but just needed a few more laps before making that mistake.
Well, I guess I know what you'll be doing probably tomorrow. Practicing.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you get it dialed in. But man, good run out there. That was a pretty good effort, man. Good qualifying time, good practice times, and yeah, you definitely showed that you got what it takes to keep up with them boys out there.
Oh yeah, I know. You know, as long as I can get to that lead draft there, I think I could have kept up with him and maybe just bided my time a little bit. But from where I was, I had to just run as hard as I could to try to catch up, and that's where I made that mistake.
Pass for the lead or for second place. Chase Hudson gets around Adam Blocker, goes into second. Well, in your opinion, what we've heard a lot of people talking about the aero push out there earlier. Tony, in your opinion, what was the aero push like out there tonight?
It was worse than it was in the night race earlier this season. But I mean, the push itself wasn't as bad, but the track was just tighter.
Right.
Couldn't get as much speed, so you had to let off a lot earlier, and because of that, you had to endure more of the push. So it was worse. It was worse than I expected it to be. I kept overdriving it several different times and had to let off to prevent myself from hitting the wall. So it was tough. That was just an experience for me. I'm sure those guys figured it out pretty quickly.
I'll tell you what, it's been pretty good racing out here. I mean, other than a couple of cautions there, I mean, really ain't been too awful bad. I mean, it could have been a whole lot worse because we've seen some pretty close racing up here in the front right now, and lap traffic already coming into play. They just passed up Matt Burkhart, put Matt another lap down as Adam Blocker gets by. I think these guys are just racing to see who can lead the most laps here tonight.
They're also racing for that money. I think it's $10 for the winner tonight. Yeah. So, they want to be in the best position in case a caution comes out on a restart to, stay up front and hopefully, lead the show and lead the draft line.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what, Matt Burkhart's he's got a handful with that car. I'm not sure what's going on, whether maybe it's his equipment, could be his wheel maybe giving him problems or something. He's acting like he doesn't have a 900-degree rotation wheel, if you know what I mean.
I get you. I think he's probably.
Ooh.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, he just caught the apron there again. It's just the car's kind of erratic out there, and that's what I was kind of wondering. Because I know if you get down to say a 400-degree wheel, oh my gosh, you just barely move that wheel when you're turning, So that's what I'm kind of wondering, and I'm probably wrong, it appears that way to me.
Well, it could be 100 different things.
Yeah.
Now, I can vouch for the wheel thing because before I got my new wheel, and Matt Burkhart hit that apron again just now. And when I got my first wheel, it had a 400-degree rotation, standard, no force feedback or anything, and oh man, it was rough.
Wow. Well, looks like Chase Hudson's coming to pit road. Or what happened to Chase? Whoa! No caution. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened to Chase here. Holy smokes! He's got some major damage on that car. I'm not sure if there was contact between him and
netcode.
Are you kidding me?
Looks like even with or without the netcode, they still would have touched at some point. But looks like Blocker just got in the draft line of Brinson, who drafted in the bottom.
I mean, he wasn't even gosh, what was he about 2 or 3 feet away from him? Let's take a look at it here from a different angle. Actually, let's go right here from Adam Blocker. You'll be able to see a little bit better. I mean, the car just went airborne right here. Yeah, you're right. They probably would have gotten together, but wow. And no caution on that either. Chase Hudson
It's
hit the wall.
unfortunate.
Oh,
Once he hit the
man.
wall, he just got glued to it and
Yep.
wasn't going slow enough to bring out a yellow for himself.
Wow. And he picked a spot to cut down through here. Everybody did a good job of missing him, because he was just trying to make it to pit road. But he is back off of pit road now and rolling, 1 lap down. It's still plenty early. We're just a little over halfway, so he can get that lap back. He'll be back up there. There ain't no doubt in my mind he'll be back up there racing it up with these guys.
It's tough to say because he needs a wave around rather than that lucky dog.
What's the difference?
But the fortunate thing for him, he didn't lose an extra lap. If he was down 2, it would be a different story.
Oh yeah.
That's what happened to me. I got a speeding penalty going down the pit road, so I went to fix it. It held me up for another 30 seconds, and I'm like, yeah, it's over. Maybe I should have kept running around, but I don't know.
Well, Crumray's about to close in on Adam Blocker here. Go ahead, Josh. What were you gonna say?
I was going to tell Tony there, he hasn't been the only one that wall's been dangerous to tonight, because there's been several cars that have been coming out of turn 3 and 4, and man, they just slapped the wall. I mean, it's he's not the only one that's hit it.
Garrett Maines is coming to pit road. Four fresh tires and a full tank of fuel. We are starting to see green flag pit stops now. We'll be waiting to see an Adam Blocker. Looks like he just got around Scott Brinson, but Scott's coming to pit road. All right, Garrett Maines is away. Got quite a few of them coming to pit road here now. Scott Brinson, Paul Crumry, Jeffrey Ohms, Chris Voiles. Those 4 coming in.
And Adam Blocker will be coming into pit road this time by. Here he comes.
Yep. And Eric Steinmetz stays out. And Eric will grab a bonus point for leading the lap. Very good.
That's pretty impressive that he's up there, considering he didn't get much practice in.
Yeah.
He came in pretty late.
Yeah, and he didn't qualify well. He's qualified 11th. I mean, well, I guess that's pretty good. That's about mid-pack, but and he's been hanging up there in the top 5, 6 pretty much most of the race. And now he's going to come in. Got that bonus point out of the way. We got another one, Mark Walker. Ooh, Eric, boy, I think Eric smoked it coming to pit road. And Michael Jeans just led a lap. That's going to help him. That's what he needed.
Steinmetz came into the pits at 70 miles an hour, so hopefully he slowed down quickly enough to not get that black flag, but I doubt it.
Boy.
Part of the problem was his pit stall was so far back. I guess it wasn't that far back. Never mind.
Well, Scott Wilson and Adam Blocker in a battle here.
Pit speed limit's 55 miles an hour, so he might have got that black flag.
Yeah, Steinmetz is still in the pits now. He just got out.
Yep. He had to serve that right there, and that's going to put him back in 13th as he comes off of pit road. 14th. We're losing lots of time out there. I was just watching here. Scott Brinson and Adam Blocker. They're gonna be 3rd and 4th here. They passed up Bobby O'Neill. Bobby just came to pit road. And we're waiting on Michael Jeans and Mark McFadden. They'll be coming in pretty quick. They're just behind Scott Brinson and Adam Blocker.
it's a pretty big deal for guys like Paul Krumrye and Garrett Maines to hope that Jeans and McFadden come into pit road, because all those guys behind them are a lap down. They're going to be trapped and have to take the wave around on slightly old tires. And then Jeans comes into pit road.
All right, well, what? Brinson down on he's on the back stretch right now, but he is going to get by them here. They won't get off pit road before he goes by, so he will retake the lead here, him and Adam Blocker. Mark McFadden did get away, but I don't think he's going to get up. No, he was scored as the leader. I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah, he was the leader.
He's coming in now. It looks like Brinson. He might lead this lap too, but Brinson will lead the next unless Blocker decides to power it up and get by.
Yeah, Mark McFadden led that lap. Brinson back in the lead. Blocker second. Paul Krumrye third now. Probably see one more set of pit stops here. I don't know exactly what the fuel window was here. Do you know, Tony?
I was so busy learning everything else, I didn't even check. I think it seemed like at least 30 laps the first run we had before the yellow came out, just before we had to pit. So probably about 30 to 40.
Chase Hudson's back up to fifth, but he's on a different pit sequence than those guys because he went in there after hitting the wall, and he's probably going to be looking at pit stops here before too much longer. And here's the good thing about that now, is he can pit probably one more time and he will be done with his pit stops. But everybody else is going to have to pit one more time. So, it's all going to work out in his favor, I think. Scott keeps telling me he's the luckiest guy in all of iRacing.
That's for usually 99% of iRacers probably say they're the unluckiest guy in all of iRacing.
Well, we've seen a lot of times in the past, last season and stuff, where he was just in the right place at the right time, didn't have the lead, but a wreck happened just ahead of him, and he wound up bringing home the win because he lucked out of it. But he's a good driver, there ain't no getting around that. He can't deny that. Jeffrey Ohm's sixth place. That he's still trying to figure these cars out. Gosh, I think he's done a pretty good job. Got himself in sixth place.
Yeah, he's only within 10 seconds of the leader right now if he maintains pace. I don't think he's going to catch Chase, but if any of those other guys make a mistake, he's right in the top 5, and it's a good finish for me. Probably a better finish for him.
Yep, another one taken behind the wall, Chris Walker. Out of the race, but Mark Walker, I don't know if them two are related or not. Mark running the Oculus Rift here tonight. He's got himself in 7th. We were worried about Michael Jeans here. He is back up to 8th position. He needs to be a little closer to the front here to have a good points night, though. But it's early in the season. This is only race number 6, so they've still got a lot of races to go. 14 more to go.
As true as that is, yeah. We hear a lot of people, even in real life, say it's early in the season, but sometimes, not with the Chase anymore, but in other series, you have a bad start to the season. Doesn't matter how good of a rest of the season you have, you're still going to end up, probably farther back than you want. So every race counts, except for that one mulligan race that we have in this league. But other than that, every race counts.
No, Martha, I have Josh Medlock and Tony Pizarro in the booth with me. Scott is out there leading the race right now. So it's not Scott's voice you hear.
I don't sound like Scott. I hope not.
I know Josh is being quiet. Why are you being so quiet, Josh?
I'm sitting here enjoying this race up front, man. I know it's not really much of a battle between Scott Brinson and I and Blocker right now. We're still 45 laps remaining, but you know, the way these guys up here, the way Adam is fighting to stay in the draft with Scott Brinson, Scott's just trying to break that draft from Blocker, and he can't seem to shake Blocker. It's very fascinating on how well these cars draft with each other. It's a learning curve for everybody, really, and you know, I know Tony was talking about, you know, the his wheel setup and everything, but you know, the car itself and a new wheel on top of it, it's like, you know, you know, what have I gotten myself into?
I think Adam's just kind of just sitting there right now. I think he's just content with riding behind Scott, because if he really wanted to draft up to him, he probably could. You know, I mean, I don't think he's got any damage on that car from that incident. I'm not really positive on that, but I'm looking the car over here real close, and I'm not seeing any real damage on it.
Yeah, I'm not either. It looks pretty clean from here. I mean, there may be a few, if you go like really close to the car, you may be able to see a little bit. But as far as big damage to stop him from picking up speed, I don't see that.
Yeah, I think he's just being patient here right now. And oh, Garrett Maines goes into fourth, trying to chase down Paul Crumry. Paul has fallen back 4.3 seconds behind them, too, because he's got nobody to draft with. Those two are drafting together, and he's got nobody. Chase Hudson
behind Garrett.
Fifth.
Yeah, that's what I was fixing to say. Behind Garrett Maines is Chase Hudson. You know, he's only about a 2.2 back from Garrett, so he's gaining. He's just it's just taking it a minute to get up there.
And he's got to make another pit stop too here. I'm kind of thinking he's going to be coming in here before much longer.
It's going to be a close call to say if he can make it on one just like the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, he can probably run down Paul Crumry and get a third place finish.
Well, I would say he's in the fuel conservation mode, but he's not. He's got the hammer down.
At this point, the last thing you want to do in an Indy car is try to save gas unless you really, really need to.
Yeah. I don't think that's even. I don't even think that's in his vocabulary at this point. You know.
Nah,
I mean, I've seen him do it before, but not today.
On a road course, maybe, but in this situation, the only real situation you would save gas is if you're behind another car that's almost as fast as you, then just draft up and let off a lot in the corners and then draft back up again. Where he is now, until he gets up to Garrett Maines, he really has no opportunity to do that.
Oh, Mark McFadden, the last one on the lead lap. And no doubt he's got a mirror full of the leader. Scott Brinson is right behind him. A couple of seconds.
These lap cars, they've been really respectful tonight. I went by a couple of them, and they just, went really high. But that's always that way in Top Fuel racing. They know they're a bit out of pace, and they just let them by and let them race. Yeah, there's no good group of guys.
No sense in racing hard with the leader. I mean, if you're going to go a lap down, just take your lumps and move on. I've even. Well, you've probably done it too. I'm sure probably everybody has. I've even tried, trying to get out of their way so much that I actually like hit the wall or, made a mistake or something, trying to stay out of their way,
Now, I've done that too. I've gotten out of the way of the leaders, to pass me to go a lap down because I know they're faster than me, and I've actually caused a caution by accident by getting into the wall. Going too high, and it's a heartbreaker. Yeah, it happens, but just trying to be respectful to the leaders.
Yep. Well, Kevin O'Brien up to 18th. Not sure what happened there, but he did have to. I think he had a connection issue or something, but he had to reset, come back in. He was about 7 laps down, and he's still holding on 7 laps down. Now, Matt Burkhart is back out there on the track. He had some major issues. We never did figure out what was going on with him. But he is 11 laps down right now. Wally Turheimer, 3 laps down. What? What happened to
That was
Wally?
I was racing with Wally side by side for several laps, racing I think for the 4th position. So I'm not sure what happened.
Wow. 2 laps down. And the graduation boy, Austin Hawkins, running in 16th. That his whole family's going to be watching out here tonight. He's got 7 days of school left. What do you think about that, Tony? You remember back in them days?
I don't want to remember school.
You don't? Oh.
No, well, no, in a way I do, but in the sense that you're just sitting there for an hour, even though you're learning a lot. I've never been able to sit still very well, and that was always tough for me. But and it's probably tough for a lot of other people. So I enjoyed the types of classes where you actually get up and interacted a little bit, rather than just sat there at a wall or a chalkboard. Or I think by high school we had those. What do you call it? I forget what it's called, but you just write on a pen and then a light flashes on the screen.
Oh.
So,
well,
you probably had chalkboards when you were a kid.
Yep, it was. I was talking to Austin there before the race, and he was telling me about his family watching and everything. And he said, I think I'm going to kind of miss school. And I said, I was out of school about 3 or 4 years, and I was thinking to myself, God, I wish I was back in school. I said, those are the best years of your life. You've got no responsibilities. You go to school, you come home, do your homework. You go to school, you come home, do your homework. You don't have no taxes to pay. You don't have to have a job. I said, now you're going to be out in the real world. It's going to be a job. You're going to have to pay taxes. You're going to have to find your own place to live. Think about marriage, kids, bills. You got to think about all them things. So enjoy it while you can.
Well, I hate to break the news to you and change the subject, but Michael Jeans took a hard hit and blew up his car. Yeah, coming out of a turn 2, I believe, going on the back stretch, he hit the wall and shot him to the inside. And yeah, he had to tow, unfortunately.
Well, that's going to be a tough break for him because he really needed to be up there with them guys for this race here to stay up there in them points. And boy, this is going to make it. It's going to make it even tougher for him to get caught up.
Looks like what Gene should have done was maybe let off the gas just a tiny bit more than he did, because he was wobbling after he hit the apron for a good thousands of feet before he actually wrecked. Sometimes that happens. You just get a little bit loose for whatever reason, hitting the apron or another car, and you just got to let off a little bit and just accept that you're probably going to wreck if you don't let off that throttle.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, he got stuck in those. He got wedged into the tire barriers and looked like it killed his race. But he's back out there now, trying to gain as much points as he can.
All right. Well, he had a reset then. That's good.
Yeah, he did have a reset. I was waiting for him to hit it because I didn't believe he had used it. So he did use it, and he is back out there. So
good. Garrett Main's
somehow
on pit road. Excuse me.
Somehow Blocker caught right up to Brinson. It's right behind him now.
Yeah. Like I said, I think he was just kind of riding there for a while. I don't think they're too awful far from coming to pit road here for their final pit stop. They've got to come in. They can't make it the rest of the way on fuel. So, and if it was me, I would have been short pitting that. I'd have short pitted that just about as soon as I could. It takes, not that it takes very long to fill these cars, but because what's a pit stop, like 5 seconds?
Yeah, about 5 to 6. Yeah,
that's 4 tires and a full tank of fuel. So, but I don't know. I guess these guys know more about what they're doing than I do. So.
Oh, it looks like Brinson's coming in now.
He's coming in. Uh-oh, we got a spin.
Oh, we got a wrecked car.
That was Chris Voiles. And Brinson is coming to pit road. Yeah, Chris Voiles, it looks like, spun it coming to pit road. Wow. Or maybe that was Matt Burkhart. That might have been Matt Burkhart.
That was Chris Voiles.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, that was Chris, yes.
Okay. All right, well, Adam Blocker's still out there. Keep an eye on Scott here, make sure he doesn't make any mistakes. Now's not the time to make a mistake. Alright, here he is. He's away. See when Adam Blocker, he should be coming in here right directly too. Paul Crumry in second. Looks like he's coming to pit road. So everybody's coming to pit road but the leader.
Oh, here he comes.
Yep. Well,
Uses a wide entry into the pits.
yes, he did.
That's a pretty smart thing to do, because if you enter really low right on that apron, you use up a lot of flat racetrack, and you just spin out. So use as much of that banking as you can getting in. It helps out a lot.
I'm sure Adam's probably done a lot of practicing on that. So it looks like we're going to have another brand new leader, but he's not. I don't think he's going to get. He didn't get that lap. He'll have to go around again. But Colin Scott is scored as leader. Make sure Adam doesn't make any mistakes and he gets off pit road. And there he goes. All right, good stop for Adam Blocker. I call him Baker again.
I think you did.
There's an Adam. I know an Adam Baker and an Adam Blocker, so my bad. All right, Colin Scott's coming in, and Eric Steinmetz will stay out. I don't think Colin realized he did not lead that lap. Or maybe he did, I don't know. He's coming in with his last one. But Eric Steinmetz just grabbed the lead there. Well, I guess he'd already had a bonus point. Mark McFadden goes into second. Scott Brinson right behind him in third. Mark's got a pit. But Scott has made his final pit stop, and he's got about a 1.5 seconds lead over Adam Blocker right now. Scott's on a mission here to bring home a win, I can tell you that. And I think the way he's going right now with these green flag runs and everything, I think he's going to get it.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds distance, that's, there's going to be no advantage that Adam Blocker can get. He has to simply outdrive him for 1.5 seconds. That's almost impossible.
Yeah, well, he'll be able to use a little bit of draft off of Mark McFadden there, but once he gets past Mark McFadden, it's over. Now it's just going to be between him and Scott.
Oh, and Eric Steinmetz took a spin coming into pit road. Oh, man.
Good news is he didn't hit anything coming in, but it's going to lose a lot of time.
And we have our third retiree for the night, and Chris Voiles.
He was involved in that accident coming to the pits just a few laps earlier.
All right, Adam Blocker's closing up on Mark McFadden, using that draft to his advantage. And here he goes, taking a look on the inside, and he's going to pass up Mark McFadden. Now he's 1.4 seconds behind Scott Brinson, so he really didn't gain a whole lot of time on Scott. And he's not in that draft window. You got to be within about a second of somebody ahead of you to catch that draft. And he's got nobody working with him to help him. So, that's not going to be good for him, but good for Scott.
Well, I am looking now. There's about 4 or 5 different lap cars as we see one Steinmetz coming out of the pits right now that may interfere with Brinson's line. As we see Matt Burkhardt in the grass.
Oh, yeah, man. Blocker just gained a couple of tenths on Brinson, though. Wow. Oh, you can bet he's just driving the wheels off of that thing right now. He's doing everything he can to get up there with Brinson. If he gets to him early enough, he might be able to do something with him, but man, he's just the clock's ticking right now. Laps are winding down quick. Chase Hudson, third place, 4.9 seconds back. How the heck did he do that?
Well, that's Chase Hudson for you.
Well, he made his final pit stop, so he's good to go now. And that was when he made his final pit stop, that was just before them guys. So he had a lot of time to gain on them. And he is clicking off a tenth here or there, but I don't know if there's enough laps left for him to get up there and battle it up with them. That's a heck of a deficit right there, 4.9 seconds. Now that I would say, Tony, is impossible.
Yeah, I think when I used the I word there for blocker, I might have jinxed Brinson a little bit.
Yeah, he's down within a second now, so he's going to start feeling that draft. And actually, he's probably feeling the draft off of Eric Steinmetz, which is right behind Scott. Eric's trying to get his lap back, which I don't think that's going to be. I don't think he's going to be able to. If he does, Scott's going to have to give it to him. Because Scott doesn't want to change his lineup.
Well, I've been looking. It looks like Steinmetz is just comfortable staying behind Brinson for now.
Yep.
But I believe by the time we get by Wally Turheimer and Kevin O'Brien, blocker's going to be right there.
Yeah. Yep. Because he's down to almost 3/4 of a second. There it is, 3/4 of a second behind. He's picked up a lot of time. He's actually chopped that lead in half just in about the last 4 or 5 laps.
I was taking a look at some of the speeds. Steinmetz started a couple miles an hour faster than Blocker, and by the end of the straightaway, Blocker was faster than Steinmetz, so he's definitely got the draft by this point.
Oh yeah, definitely. There he is, down to 0.6. And Brinson knows he's coming. He's just got to deal with this lap traffic quickly. Don't waste any time getting around him, so he can get back to his line, his fast line. There's a fast line here and there's a slow line. And he knows where that fast line is. Well, I'll tell you, with all them lap cars in between him and Blocker right now, Brinson's got to be smiling from ear to ear. But the bad thing of it is Blocker's using that traffic to his advantage right now by using the draft off of him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's going to use those cars to his advantage on the draft just to get up to Scott Brinson.
Well, just that lap right there in turn 3, Blocker lost a ton of time behind the dead air of Kevin O'Brien.
Yep.
He drifted up the wall, and Blocker followed him right up there, lost a few tenths. Right now, Blocker, I think he's actually lost the draft line again. So, I'm 0 for 2 in assumptions so far.
Well, I think he's still got the draft, Tony, because he's less than 3/4 of a second from Steinmetz. So, that's what he's gonna have to use Steinmetz's draft to get up there with Scott. But he's got to hustle, man. He better hurry because the time is running out.
Brinson's going to catch Turheimer at the right point, right on the straightaway where we can use as much draft as possible, get underneath, and fly right by him in turn 1.
Wally in 15th. Clicked on, was it? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Brinson gets by. When you could just hear Wally's car just pick right up speed when he got right up behind Scott.
Oh, yeah, he's actually racing Steinmetz for, I think. No, actually, no, that's not a position. Turheimer's 2 laps down. Steinmetz is only 1.
All right, we're riding along here with Adam Blocker right now as he's getting ready to go by Wally Turheimer. And I think Wally is still there, so Blocker's got to kind of give a little room there until he clears them. And Adam's trying to figure out what he's got to do. He's got 11 laps to get up there and battle it up with Scott. You think he might have enough there? Or you think he's kind of dogging it right now? Maybe just sitting back and relaxing a little bit here and making Scott think that he's got it won? Or do you think Adam's just really got the hammer down?
I think he's doing his best. At this point in the race, don't screw around,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can't.
Just, you gotta. There's a sandbagging tactic, and there's a time to do that. Now's not the time. You gotta go.
Yep, definitely.
And I believe he's doing all he can as well to keep that draft in front of him.
And I don't know, maybe Adam will just be happy with, taking second because, you got to give it up to Scott. Scott drove one heck of a race here tonight. That's pretty awesome for him to have such a good run here tonight. Chase Hudson has closed up a little bit, 4.1 seconds, but still not enough, and they got 10 to go. 9 to go. Excuse me, 9 laps.
I think Steinmetz is just going to let the blocker right by and have the 2 race for the victory for these next 9 laps.
There we go. We're down to 0.4 of a second, 0.3 of a second. He's in that draft. He's got plenty of time now. Coming to 8 to go this time. Boy, Scott's got to be worried now because he's got around Steinmetz.
I'm actually interested more in what Scott's going to do to prevent the pass rather than Blocker passing himself, because you said he's the competitor that he is. How much will he block?
Yeah, and you don't want to. You got to be careful blocking because you could wind up taking them both out.
Oh yeah, and Chase Hudson wins.
Again.
So many races anyway. The last thing you want to do is hand him one. You know.
Well,
if you beat him.
He's been handed a couple last season because of that. Just being in the right place at the right time. So.
But still, you don't want that to happen again. You don't want this. He's already ahead in the points by so much. You got to take what you can get.
Yeah. Heck, if Chase comes
Don't
out
be
here
too
with
aggressive here.
Chase comes out here with a 3rd place finish. Hey, Now the good thing, here's the thing about this now. Scott is actually going to take over 2nd place in the points because there was only 1 point separating Adam and Scott. Adam was 1 point ahead of Scott. Well, they both led a lap, but Scott's going to come out of here with the most laps led tonight. So, I guess that would tie them, wouldn't it? That would tie them.
I think whoever's a position ahead, because I think it's a 5-point differential between positions up in this point. So
5. Oh wow!
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, he's going.
I gotta check. It's either 5 or 10. I know IndyCar is 5, but this he might have adjusted it a little bit to make it a little bit more.
Well, Adam backed off a little bit here. I wonder if he did that on purpose, kind of cool them tires off for a run, or this isn't the time to be backing off, is it? It's go time. If you've got anything saved up, it's time to go.
I'm concerned because he's a little farther back than I'm comfortable with for him to win.
Well, he just chopped the 10th off, and then he lost the 10th. Chase is just kind of giving it up. He says, "I'll just take 3rd and be happy with that."
Yeah, Blocker can't afford to take any more losses at this point, especially with Colin Scott giving Brinson a little bit of draft himself.
Yep. And I'm
sure about four laps to go.
I'm sure Scott's taking advantage of every bit of that too.
How many laps has Scott led?
Right now, 77.
I think it's safe to say that's the most.
Yeah. Yeah, Adams led
more than half the race.
Adams led 25, and Chase has led 12. And Mark McFadden's led a couple. Michael Jeans led 3. Eric Steinmetz led 3. Those have been the only leaders. And the graduation boy took it behind the wall. No, Austin. Walker, 0.4 of a second. 3 laps to go.
All Brinson's thinking is, what's going to go wrong? Is my engine somehow going to blow somehow? They don't blow in iRacing if you don't give them a reason to, but I'm sure Brinson's still thinking about that kind of thing. Blocker gained a ton of time that lap.
Yes, he did.
2 laps to go. He's got to go now.
Yep, it's time. I would have been going about 5-6 laps ago. I'd have been right up on his tail. And I know you get that arrow push if you get too close, but man, he's got to go. He's got to take that chance, Lap traffic.
Brinson's got to
play again.
Yeah, final lap. Brinson's ahead by several car lengths, and Blocker still has that lap car to deal with.
White flag in the air.
If I was Brinson, I would have went all the way low to try to block Blocker's line. But it looks like he's going to get it anyway, unless Blocker gets an amazing turn 3 here.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. It looks like it's going to be Scott Brinson at the line here for the Top Fuel Racing IndyCar Series. Oh, man, look at that.
Checker flag.
And there it is at the line. Scott Brinson with the win here. Congratulations.
Nice job, Scott.
He'll be stoked.
I saw Blocker going through turn 4 like a bat out of hell, and I thought he was going to make it stick for a second, but no, he had to let off way too early.
All right. Well,
but that's okay. He gave it his all.
That's right. Well, we'll start out with Chase Hudson. I'll get him up here. We'll start talking with him. Chase Hudson, you got a copy?
Chase flag.
Chase Hudson.
I got you.
Yeah. Hey, what happened out there, brother? We seen you. You know, you got up into the wall. All we seen was some major net coding between you and I think can't remember who that was.
Adam Blocker.
No. Oh, yeah, it was Adam Blocker. That's right. Major net coding. Gosh, there was like 2 feet between you, and you got up into the wall there. Had to use your reset. But what a comeback, man! What a comeback and bring it home third.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of frustrating, but I mean, to bring it home, I mean, it's pretty good. Pretty good points day.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, you come in here tonight with I think it was a 56-point lead, and you still come home third place. I mean, wow, man, you can't, you know, there's only 2 more places above that. You know, that's a pretty good, after all you went through, I would say that was a very good day, a good comeback, you know, proving that you can endure what happened out there. And man, how did you do that though? We were still sitting here scratching our head trying to figure out, how did you get back up to third? You know.
I mean, I had to early pit like 2 or 3 times, whatever it was. So it helped me a lot. But I mean, I was kind of confused because I was like last going into the pits, and then I just came out of the pits like 8th or something like that.
Yeah.
And the next stop, I was like 4th, and then got 3rd.
Well, I know you would have liked to have won the race here tonight, but all things considered, are you content with that finish? I mean, as far as, you know, I mean, you got a heck of a lead in the points, and you still had a good points day coming home third today. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, yeah, I guess I could be happy. Yeah, not finishing a lap down or, you know, totally having my race, you know, using my fast repair early. At least I could repair my car and still be in it.
Absolutely. Well, only 3 cautions here tonight, so them green flag runs, boy, really helped. Now, as the green flags went on, you know, the laps ran down. How bad were the tires getting, or were they still having a pretty good amount of grip?
I mean, early in the race, you could go probably 7 or so laps, kind of not really feeling that much aero push or push even in clean air. But at the end of the race, I felt like after 3 or 4 laps, even on new tires, you're having to lift a lot, kind of run a single groove a little bit. But I mean, it made that racing interesting, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, there was a lot of different strategies going on out there. We were watching a few of them, and Scott and I, we've been kind of watching, you know, to make it more interesting for us in the booth. You know, Scott and I learned last night. We started watching more strategies out there on the track, and I'll tell you what, Scott's quite the strategizing. I don't know, what do you want to call it, statistician. You know, because man, he was right on top of it last night. But we've seen some strategies out here tonight that some worked out, some didn't. But man, yours worked out perfectly. You brought it home third tonight, so congratulations to you, Chase. And that should still, all in all, be a good points night for you. So, anybody you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, thanks to you guys and Scott for putting this on, and also the podium.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next week then, and thanks for talking with us, Chase.
See you.
All right, Josh, you got second?
Yeah, I sure do. Adam, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Adam, man, that was some fantastic racing all the way through the race between y'all 3, Scott Brinson, you, and Chase Hudson, man. Let's go back about with 8 to go with those lap cars kind of coming into play at the end. What was the idea of, you know, we seen you, you know, trying to keep in the draft with those cars. You did finally catch up to Scott, but how did that in total play in?
Well, I mean, obviously you want to slipstream them down the straight, but you don't want them in the corner because you want the downforce in the corner. So, yeah, I was just trying to make the most out of it. Really, I was hoping that Scott would wash out or something like that, and I would get a good run on him. I almost got a good run on the last lap, turn 4, but in order to do it, the car would have had to stick, and so I just tried to make it stick. Almost went flat out and it washed up. So, but yeah, I don't know. Lap traffic was kind of tricky, but I seemed to make up more time through it than lose time. So.
Well, it was fantastic racing all along. The arrow push. We've seen a lot of arrow push out there, especially when cars got close to each other. When you ran up to the back of them, what was the strategy of trying to get that slingshot to get around them? Because there was some passing, but there wasn't a whole lot of it because of it. What was your strategy around that?
I mean, in general, you want to take a different line through the corner, and then towards the end of the corner, you can tuck in the slipstream as long as you're not going to push wide, and then to get the maximum slipstream down the next straight, and then go from there to kind of set up a pass. But the thing that Scott's really good at leading the race and choosing which line to run to give me dirty air and wash second place out. So I definitely think that's what won Scott the race, between him being on top of pit strategy and then knowing how to disrupt the air coming onto my car. But yeah, I think I could have been a little bit more aggressive with fuel because I ended up with like 7 laps of fuel left. But I've underfueled. I've underfueled too many times to to risk that. Like Milwaukee in the Formula Renault, I underfueled there and lost a potential win. So that was on my mind when I was kind of conservative with that.
Well, they say it's always best to overfuel than to underfuel, but you also want to, get as much of a slow time in pit road as you can. We've seen some green flag pit stops, and we've seen some people getting into pit road fast. What was the strategy to get on pit road going from 200 and something miles an hour down to 55? Because that's got to be tricky.
Well, it is tricky. The secret is just to practice it a lot on old tires, but you don't really get many shots to practice it because you have to run the tires all the way, down to when they're old and hot from a long run. You can't. But it was really tricky because when you're braking, like trail braking through the final corner, to start slowing down, the car just wants to wash up a lot on old tires, and you want to keep it as low as possible. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I nailed it pretty well the second time. The first time I was kind of conservative, but Scott clearly did about the same as me, so it didn't end up being a factor. But I remember like Michigan last season, which is a pretty similar track to this. I overshot pit entry and got a speeding penalty, and that ruined my race. So that was definitely on my mind there.
Well, you played everything out pretty well tonight. You finished second. Congratulations on that again. If there was a few more laps left, I'm sure you could have probably at least got up to Brinson a little bit closer, maybe even got the win. But unfortunately, it ended the way it ended. But you got second place. That's the way it goes. Is there anybody you want to thank tonight, Adam?
Well, I just want to thank Scott for putting the race on, racing me clean, and congratulate him on winning. I want to congratulate Chase on finishing third. We made contact. I don't know whose fault it was. It could have been a racing deal. At the time, I felt like I washed up into him, and looking at replay, I washed up a little bit. I mean, he also pinched me a little bit too. So I don't know. It just sucked that he got the bad end of it. But fortunately, he was able. It happened at a time where he could pit and still be in the fuel window, and so he didn't lose a stop. All he did was lose the time from hitting the wall. So.
Well, Tony kind of put that the best, Adam, that, it looked like you two would have eventually came together, but there was so much net coding between you, and that's what kicked him out. I mean, it looks like you were heading toward each other anyhow. We're probably going to hit anyhow, but the net coding, actually, you guys were like 2 feet apart, and all of a sudden, Chase's car just like flipped over to the right, and hit the wall. Man, it was weird, but
Yeah, going into the corner, I definitely had the feeling of, oh crap, this is not going to stick. We're going to make contact. So I wasn't surprised when we made contact, but I was surprised that the caution didn't come out and that it worked out for Chase, or he could still finish third. So it didn't end up being too bad. I'll definitely take partial responsibility for that because I drove it in too hard and I wasn't going to make that stick anyway. So.
No, that was still some fantastic racing. Yeah, there was a bunch of net code there. But, man, you finished second today. Like I said, congratulations. And I'm sure we'll see you next week, right?
No, you won't, because unfortunately I'll be at the real-life Michigan track when you guys are racing in Michigan. So.
My favorite track. Been there many times, Adam. That's a good partying track. Hey, if they still have the Miller tent down there behind the grandstands, they used to have where it's all the free beer you could drink.
Well, it's a student engineering competition called Formula SAE, so it's not like a regular race. So go in there to compete.
Okay,
it's gonna be stressful, but there's still some partying afterwards if we do well, or to relieve stress.
Very good.
Well, we won't see you next week. We'll see you the week after, I'm sure.
Yep.
All right, Adam. Well, congratulations on second, man. Rudy, take over, man.
All right, Scott Brinson, you got a copy.
My man, Rudy. How we doing tonight,
you
buddy?
Probably thought we were never going to get to you. A lot of BS going on there, but man, you did it here tonight, leading the most laps with 81 laps. You bring home the win in the Blackhawks car. Okay.
Yes, sir. Glad we got right. Can you get a live shot of me? I want to take a memorial victory lap here. This is for Ryan and Donald Sadusky. I talked to Donald earlier.
Yeah,
I talked to Donald earlier, and he was pretty broken up, with everything that's going on with his friend dying and, his son, the anniversary of his son. So this is a memorial lap for Ryan. Let's take a ride. Go ahead with the interview.
Well, we've seen you take some chances there at the beginning of the race. They're kind of pretty close racing with Adam and Chase and a few others. And you didn't seem like you were too awful aggressive at first. Were you kind of just saving your car at that time, or was it you were doing all you could right there to hang on?
Yeah, no. Honestly, I'll be honest. I hadn't won here in a while. I hadn't won a race this season. Chase has been winning a lot since last season. So I just felt like I needed to step up to the plate tonight and really show up and drive and really stay focused the whole race, not make any mistakes. I did make a couple mistakes. I got down there and I touched that line a couple times.
Yeah.
It allowed Adam to really catch up to me on one lap. But as he was saying, I know how to feed that dirty air. And I knew that was king here tonight. Clean air was king. And I just tried to stay in the clean air.
Well,
once I got out front, that is.
Well, that worked out good for you because, man, I'll tell you, whatever you were doing, Scott, that was working. And, if that's what it takes to see you in victory lane some more, dude, you need to be doing that every week.
Yeah. Just early on, man, there were times when I wasn't really that focused. And then I've been caught up in a lot of bad things too. And a couple weeks ago at Kansas, we had 14 to go, I think it was. And everybody stayed out on old, I think 15, 20 lap old tires. And me and Steinmetz pitted. And man, I think we would have had something for him there at the end of that. But unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way. Ironically, Steinmetz ran me over on the restart. So yeah, it didn't work out for either one of us. But we wanted to make it work tonight. So we definitely wanted to bring our A game.
Very good. Very good. Well, congrats again, Scott. And I know I gave out a lot of announcements there, but why don't you go ahead and run down through the Indy thing there, and maybe you can explain it better to everybody else than I did.
Well, yeah, for the time in Top Fuel Racing history, we're going to have a buy-in race. We're going to start doing this for every time we go to Indy in the DW12. So it basically happens twice a year on the calendar year. It'd be $15 entry fee. And there's a payout structure on topfuelracing.us. So if anyone's interested how the money will be paid back, you can go there and click on the, I think it's race money. It's one of the tabs there. Just find it. It gives you a breakdown of the car entry, and then the payouts are based off the car entry. But it's basically about the top 40% are going to get paid back money. And everything that's being paid in, other than $15 that's being put back towards the broadcast and just the fees of the race, is being put back into it. So, but we're hoping that we get a good turnout. We got 10 people signed up already, and we're hoping we get another 10 to 15 and make it a pretty good race. So if we can get 25 in there, it'll pay the top 10, and I think the winner would make $65.
Wow,
and then it pays
nice.
down from there all the way to 10th place. And everybody makes money. Like 10th place, I think it's $19 or something like that. So they get their money back plus a few bucks.
Nice. Nice.
So you're basically gambling on yourself that you're going to have a good race. It's kind of like, you guys play football pools and that sort of thing. It's, we want to add a little spice to the Indianapolis race because, I know not everybody out there thinks Indy's a big deal, but I think Indy's a pretty damn big deal. So I just wanted to add a little spice to the race itself.
Heck yeah, man. Well, yeah.
And come next week, Bandit Motorsports has stepped up to the plate, and they're going to be giving away $30 next week. It's the first time Bandit Motorsports has sponsored a race here at Top Fuel. And it's going to be $15 to the winner, $10 to second place, and $5 to third. So we'll be giving away another $30 next week.
Awesome. Very good.
Yep.
All right.
Well, really, what I got a minute here. We'll go ahead and I'll give it back here. I just want to send out some thank yous. I want to thank all the drivers that came out tonight. I want to thank all you guys up here in the booth. Josh, Rudy, Tony, you guys do a kick-ass job. Excuse my language, but that's the God's honest truth. You guys are awesome. Rudy, you're the John Madden of iRacing. I've said that for a long, long time, and I mean it, man. I mean it. You're awesome. So I appreciate you guys and MaxSpeedTV. I appreciate all the fans tuning in. This was kind of a sad day in the sense of our friend, lost his son a year ago. And I think I did my best to go out here and honor that honoree. So
yes,
I hope I did my best.
Very good.
All right, man. Well, back to you.
All right. Let's run down through the results then. Scott Brinson coming home with the win here tonight. Congratulations to him. Adam Blocker second. Chase Hudson third. Garrett Maines will finish fourth. Paul Krumrei fifth. Jeffrey Ooms in sixth place. Mark Walker seventh. Bobby O'Neill finishing eighth. Colin Scott ninth. And Eric Steinmetz rounds out the top 10. Josh?
Yes, sir. We've got Leroy Giroux. Yeah, Giroux finishing 11th. Mark McFadden in 12th. Michael Jeans in 13th. Kerry Cleaver in 14th. Wallace Turheimer in 15th. Kevin J. O'Brien 16th. Stone Cold Hawkins in 17th. Chris Voiles in 18th. Matt Burkhart in 19th. Chris Walker in 20th. And Tony Pizarro in 21st.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got a couple more thank yous real quick. I want to thank Adam Blocker for racing me the way he did tonight and staying on me and making me bring my A game and keeping that kind of pace. Adam, that's awesome, man. And Chase, good job on your third place. Garrett, good job on fourth. And my teammate, Paul, good job on another top 5.
Tony, thank you for helping out, man. I'm sorry about you having a bad night tonight, but, I'm glad you decided to come up to the booth with us. That's pretty cool. Help Josh and I out a little bit.
Yeah, Scott said it was a good idea. I was probably going to anyway, but I probably should have cooled off for a couple of minutes before I get on. But I think I was all right.
I like that kind of stuff.
I know you do, Scott. I know.
Emotion. That's real emotion. That's human emotion. I like it.
All right, guys. All right. Okay, well, thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you tomorrow night. And until then, stay safe and have a good night.
Have a good week, everybody.